place where the letter was found. You know, you could kill two birds with one stone. Leave the letter in here. No need to make things more complicated. It started here. Why won't it end here? What Lily said is true, then there's all more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before someone thinks of putting this blasted place back up on the market. When I get out of this place, I swear I'm suing a bunch of people, running that real estate company to the ground if need be. We spent millions, damn it. Millions. With a sigh and perhaps a heavy heart, open one of the drawers on my study table, taking a bottle of liquor out for myself, then passing it on to every occupant in the room. They accept it, but not without a look of protest and a confused glance my way. It does shut them all up, so maybe I've done something good.
This isn't the time!
Even more when I pop off the cork of the bottle and pour the contents on the floor.
Well, what are you simpletons waiting for?
We waste no time dousing the whole room, the smell of alcohol filling the air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're more eager to set this whole place on fire, and the blaze catches easily in this room when we set it alight, using the blasted paper as kindling. With the whole place drenched in wine and and all manner of alcoholic I've been hiding from Hannah, the small fire soon turns into an inferno. In a matter of seconds, we're out of the door. Doesn't exactly lead where I'm hoping it will, although ending up in the kitchen does give us more reason to play like a bunch of pyromaniacs. Fishing the liquor stocks from the cupboards, we also do the same thing we've done to the study. Door after door in every room we pass, pouring a bottle of expensive aged liquor and setting it on fire, only leaving once the blaze has started in earnest. When we run out of liquor, we simply drop the bottle and take one off many nooks I've stashed one. Jesus Christ, he's got alcohol all over the fucking house. There's no lack of it here. The hard stuff, the shorts, the watered down kind, gifts from distant relatives, friends, so-called friends, you name it. I made sure there's always one within reach.
How many of these things do you keep in this house?
I always have a few bottles in the bedroom, you know, the parlor and the dining room.
You have problems, man.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, isn't this the time to discuss them?
Turns out it'll be useful now. Not to drown out the sorrows, but this, wonder of wonders, though I suppose I can now say it has also saved my life. There's no time for some introspection now, because with each room we pass and burn, the place becomes easier to navigate, as if it's slowly righting itself, returning to what it's supposed to be. Soon we find ourselves standing before the main door, the strong odour of burning wood and varnish alike wafts from under the doors of the rooms we previously torched, slowly filling the hall with a thick black smoke. The blaze has also started in earnest in every part of the house. I can already feel the heat seeping from the rooms we've set aflame. In a matter of minutes, flames will engulf the whole house. Fittingly, this is when she appears again before us, watching us from the top of the stairs while her world goes up in flames around her. However, what catches my eye is the expression on her face. Not the vile smile that I've already grown accustomed to, or the one where her eyes gleam with complete hatred. This one, forlorn, is the only word I could think to describe it.
No, please. Help me. Help me, please.
Can the dead still feel? Can she hear us? Or is this merely another one of her tricks to trap us in this nightmare? Like this, however, she seems almost the woman she used to be. Don't waste any time pondering over it. Not with the exit just a few steps away. The door's finally open, and through it I can catch a glimpse of the world outside. Safety. However, I do turn, if only to see the last of her. A farewell more than anything. For all her attempts to lure me, draw me in, her wishes to be with me, she does not stop me. And when I finally run from this horrid place, quietly, she disappears. I was getting nervous that they weren't going to escape the house, and essentially picking burning was just gonna kill everyone. I had that genuine fear in my heart then. Oh, thank God it's over. Well, we'll see. Watching a multi-million-pound house burn before me, for some reason nothing about this bothers me. Maybe it's the one last look on her face that has changed it. Maybe it's what I've seen and heard inside. The only thing, there's only a calm, a stillness. Fuck, where's Johannes? The same hush that comes after a terrible storm has swept the countryside, and with it there's the sight of the rising sun above the horizon. Ever so slowly the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Dawn is giving way to warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxbourne's countryside. Nearby the trees sway in the rustling of the breeze, and a passing draft that carries even into this room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance I can hear the soft chirping of birds while the rest of the world stirs, wakes. Dawn at last. We are free. Epilogue. Jesus. Like the flames that engulfed the mansion that night, whispers quickly spread across Luxbourne City after the incident. Officers who investigated simply deemed it an unfortunate accident. Regardless of the truth, Luke Wright files criminal charges against Briar Realty Corporation after, for undisclosed reasons to the public, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy. A move that has merely stoked the rumours further. But for those who still believe in the stories of old, and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets the Ermengarde mansion has hidden for centuries. If there will come a time for those will finally be revealed, only the ashes of the now ruined mansion know. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing of voices where it once stood, of cries and wails that fill the nights, and desperate calls for help for anyone who dares listen. As for those who once treaded its halls, unable to settle their differences, Hannah Wright eventually files for divorce from Luke Wright. For several months they become the subject of gossips in the mass media in the city. Despite of this, the two have uncharacteristically remained tight-lipped on the circumstances of their separation, though many assumed it's the inevitable falling out stemming from the trouble during the couple's housewarming party. To everyone's surprise, however, Luke quietly accepts the court decision and disappears from the Evans heiress's life, without causing much fuss. The once couple who has kept an amicable relationship though, and the businessman is seen visiting Hannah Evans on the days of their twins' birth. She had twins. With the Wright couple's separation also comes the Wright Evans conglomerate split up. Although the Wright Enterprises still manages to do well with business, with Evans Incorporated back as a competitor, other tech leaks place its CEO and the company under legal spotlight months later. This time, however, with the then Chief Inspector Harvey Lee's sudden absence, the businessman isn't able to escape their close scrutiny. In an investigation headed by LPD's Detective Inspector Ashton Frey, all of Wright Enterprises' illegal business dealings within the past 10 years come to light. Although his involvement with other crimes is still being investigated, the disclosure has caused a huge outcry, especially from city's business sector. Sued on multiple grounds, the company is ultimately forced to shut down. Oddly, when Luke Wright steps out of his office one last time, there is only a small smile on his face. To avoid public outrage, the once affluent businessman immediately leaves the city. All of his bank accounts have been emptied, including his Luxbourne apartments, leaving not a single trace or clue of where he might be hiding. The last anyone has seen of the man was on a flight bound for Ireland. To this day, no one has heard from him. Even his people from the old Wright Enterprises, who have all been left to deal with the aftermath. If Hannah Evans knows, she's kept mum about it. Though over the past few months after the situation has calmed, some have made claims spotting him flitting in and out of the city, if only to check on those he has left behind. Following the company split, Hannah Evans re-establishes Evans Incorporated, becoming its CEO like her late father has always wanted for her. Though a bit out of practice and doubted by many people at first, the Evans heiress quickly finds her bearings and proves to be every bit talented in the business as her parents. Soon, under her management, the new Evans Inc. flourishes, becomes one of the prime investment and finance companies in Luxbourne. Months after her recovery, Marianne McCall heads back to her homeland, ready to close a chapter of a past that she has left hanging for so long. There, she visits Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness from the girl she once loved, something she has intentionally avoided for years. Although the terror of what she has witnessed inside the Ermengarde mansion still clings to her, she bravely chooses to move on from it. Turning a new leaf by focusing on a new branch of her interior design company and leaving her entire interior design company at Luxbourne in the hands of her secretary instead. Although she never returns to the city after, she is frequently seen visits to check on the people who have become acquainted within her years there. Having finally accepted herself, she won't deny she's in a happier place now. By some stroke of luck or unfortunate circumstances of fate, Marianne encounters Luke Wright once again, almost a year after returning home. She meets the man in the local marketplace, newly settled, fumbling and confused. Although her opinion remains still ambivalent, at best, she reluctantly offers to help, especially after seeing him stumble on his Gaelic more times than she deems acceptable. And it becomes a start. Not to a close friendship by any means, but something akin to it. And on better days, when vitriol and scathing words don't get in the way, there's only the pleasant companionship one offers to the other. Casual visits to the other's home, sharing a bottle of wine or two, and simply talking about anything under the sun. A comfort after the things they can no longer have. Something they both eventually learn to appreciate with time. Despite making the island branch of her interior design company her focus now, Marianne continues to cater to her most avid patrons in Luxbourne when requested. After her work on the Ermengarde mansion, Hannah Evans has never trusted another to handle the design for any of the places she owns. Upon moving back to the Evans mansion after a divorce, Marianne's name is the first thing she calls, and the woman is quick to fly back to the city at the socialite summons. Not only helping with the decorations of the old place, but also assisting with the renovations, much to Hannah's delight. But even after the project has been wrapped up months later, the renowned designer remains a constant presence around the businesswoman. And as with everything that goes in the city, this does not escape notice of people who keep a constant eye on the heiress. The rumoured couple has kept mum about, but anyone who sees them together won't deny there's a different spark in both women's eyes. With the help from family and friends, Zachary Steele is soon able to open a photography studio of his own. Cool. Something he's only dreamed of having as a child. Although he still hopes to get back to making indie films someday, client work and small projects have kept him mostly busy. Hectic as it may be, he can only be glad for the amount of work pouring in. It has made moving on from the incident at the Ermengarde mansion easier, if not faster. Yeah, I can't even imagine. He's got so many demons already. So many demons already. That, all this must have really taken a toll on Zach. With, like, witnessing his parents get shot and everything. I'm also really happy about the whole Marianne Hannah thing. That Marianne's just finally accepted it and essentially come out of the closet, so to speak. But at the same time, Hannah's like, you know what? I'm over the past relationship. You've always stuck by me. And they're trying, at least. While there are still nightmares, with support from his family, his doctor, and his own drive, and the dark images have finally turned into pleasant dreams. He's aware he won't ever truly forget, but that's no longer running away. At times, when he's not busy or after a hard day's work, he thinks there's another story for the big screen that needs to be told in that. An idea he may soon turn into a reality once his time affords it. Is he going to make a film about the Ermengarde mansion? That would be cool. And the experiences of everything that went on in there. It probably won't go as a documentary. It'll probably be seen as some kind of horror film, but, you know, nice thought. In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher within Luxbourne's major academic circles, especially after writing what she discovered about Anselm Village in the Ermengarde mansion. With help from Professor Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at the local and international symposiums. Now at the tail end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all the inaccuracies in the city's current history. A move supported by her colleagues, students and friends alike. Though she knows she still has a long way to go before she can even begin to change people's minds about it, Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres. Doing it not for herself, but for the sake of her history the future generation must never forget. Now, no matter how disturbing her experience with the curse may have been, she remains the worrywart she's always been. Even after what she's seen, she continues to fret over people she cares about, sometimes much to their frustration or embarrassment. If there's one thing that has shifted, it's her relationship with the people in her little group, particularly with Zachary Steele. In fact, on numerous occasions, she's been spotted dropping by his new studio, bringing the man food on days when he's swamped with work. Good for you two! They also seem to have grown more comfortable around each other than before. Maybe it's born out of their shared experience, or maybe it's the way they see each other has simply changed naturally due to the years they've known each other. Regardless of the whys, it's a change the man welcomes and appreciates. In turn, he strives to return her kind gesture whenever he can. For all the horrors they've seen, who knows? Who would have thought something good will come of it? Things have inevitably become strained between Ashton Free and Rebecca Gales in the months following her confession. With their lives getting busier, the two have eventually drifted apart. Although neither talks about it and the teacher still never forgets an old love, it's clear in Rebecca that there are still feelings left she could never let go. If anything, however, this only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she clung to the idea of Ashton from the younger days, the one that may not have been there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. If there will be a time she'll be able to accept this, to move on from the hurt and repair old friendships that has fallen to ruins, only she knows. With a newfound courage, Isabella Santos finally chooses to pursue what she really wants to do herself. Having made enough to keep her family afloat for the next few years, and with the blessings, she quits her job at Briar Realty Corporation and takes a scholarship offer from the local university. Though remarkably out of practice and unsure if she'll be able to keep up by the time she returns to university, she finds her feet soon enough with help from people close to her, and with her confidence in her skills growing, so that the numbers of people recognizing her and her work. It doesn't take long for several award-winning bodies to take notice of her. For all her accomplishments, however, she has never truly forgotten what happened at the Ermengarde mansion. The image still remains in her, and on particularly unpleasant nights, terrors continue to visit her dreams. She knows they won't ever disappear from her life. It has become part of her in the same way death has permanently taken her. However, she's no longer afraid. And with a brave face, she carries on, earnestly wishing that someday she'll be able to paint brighter, more vivid thoughts on her canvas, an honest portrayal of life and hope amidst the fear. Shortly after accepting the scholarship grant from Luxbourne U, Isabella moves from Salemwell residence in favour of staying in the dorm closest to the campus. Although Rebecca Gales is quick to offer assistance for the move, she does admit she'll be missing a neighbour for more than 5 years. When all is said and done, she has become fonder of the girl over the years, and with their shared experience over the curse, they've only grown closer. Isabella leaves with a promise to visit her once in a while. And even though she still jokingly complains about Rebecca's bossy attitude, she confesses that she also misses the woman's fussing. After all, in a place miles away from her real family, Rebecca is the closest thing she had to her sister. More than a year later, once everything in their respective lives have settled, Zachary Steele and Isabella Santos finally hold their first exhibit together. A project that has been in the making for almost 2 almost 2 years after the photographer casually brought it up to the other artist. While merely intended as a small event, it has been surprisingly attended by several members of the Luxborn upper class and art enthusiasts, although only a few of the pieces have been meant for sale. The show has brought prominence to Zachary and Isabella's names in the city's art scene. Good. It has been since been followed by several other exhibits by the two, both in and out of the city. Currently, they're planning to hold their first show overseas. Yet with this unexpected, overwhelming fame, friendship between the two has remained strong. Theirs, after all, is a bond that goes beyond mere partners in a small project. He's her family as much as she is his. While she's aware she still has plenty of ways to go, getting back to school has also opened a lot of opportunities for Isabella. At times, part-time work has started to come in droves, and she's able to support herself financially through her art alone. Good! Something she could only have dreamed of as a child. And when clients are generous enough, she'll be able to send money back home as well, despite her family's reassurances. One such client is Marianne McCullough, Interior Designer Company. And I bet that's because of that. Right there. That right there. Who frequently commissions her for murals after the woman has learned of her skill. Though at times she finds it difficult to keep up with the interior design standard for quality. It's a job and a challenge she's only too happy to accept if it means she's doing what she loves. Following his success from bringing Luxborn's firm case to a close, Ashton Frey receives a recommendation for transfer to Luxborn's lead agency against organised crime. Endorsement eagerly backed by the newly appointed successors of the late Chief Inspector Lee, Abigail Harris. Yeah, what happened to the DI? Knowing he'll have more resources, leeway, and a bigger chance at ultimately bringing Luke Wright to justice, Ashton Frey accepts. He still warns the people close to him against Wright and his associates, but only a friendly reminder now more than anything. Though he does worry, he believes they are wise enough to know what they are doing and trust their judgment. For now, he has decided to leave the evidence and the law to speak for itself and take care of the man once the proper time comes. Nowadays, police work and operations keep him busy, sometimes taking him away from the city he grew up in for days on end, a rare thing for him to enjoy once upon a time, yet this time, he never loses his drive. Simply growing more determined after having finally found a clear purpose close to the rush and excitement he dreamed of as a child. Although Ashton still keeps his mum about specific details of his work, his experience with the curse has slowly taught him how to open up, especially to those he knows that genuinely care for him. He still has a long way to go, he knows that, but for the sake of the people who are still with him, those who have chosen to stay, he hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide behind his own lies. A day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. On his days off, Ashton is usually seen loitering around Zach Steele's studio, either helping him out on his pet projects or exasperating the other man on a purpose. Either or, mostly the latter. At certain times, he'll volunteer to model for one of Zach's projects, in spite of the photographer's reassurance that it's not needed. Regardless, Ashton insists before complaining how meticulous the whole process is hours later to Zach's utter amusement. Though sometimes they may get into small trivial arguments, they have stayed cordial between the two. If anything, the ordeal they've both gone through has merely strengthened a friendship the detective didn't expect to find in anyone. After a bit of fumbling... Yes! Yes, so they're staying together. After a bit of fumbling, of a few missteps here and there, and moments of brief allowing their uncertainties to hang over them, Ashton Frey and Isabella Santos finally finds a rhythm. Theirs isn't a soaring love story by any means, nor is it a happily ever after once told in the picture books the girls only dreamed of having in childhood. Far from it, in fact, despite what people glimpse their eyes or glean from their gestures, they both know better than to cling to ideals. A stranger will say they're in love, hopelessly, genuinely. There is a certain truth to it, one only has to look. However, what they never see is this. Beyond the soft smiles, fleeting glances, and gentle touches only meant for the other, is a grief. A terror that never seems to lift. Constantly filling the nights with echoes of unforgiving wails and unwelcome dreams that stirs either awake at the darkest hours of dawn. It has never truly left them, and it never will. In the same way, the light scar on Ashton's hand will never fully heal, or the horrid images of Isabella's mind will never fade. But they cope. In hushed whispers and tender reassurances, with light kisses and long embraces. When that no longer suffices, when the horrors become too much even for them to bear, they have each other. A warmth to hold on to in the coldest of nights. And for them, it's more than enough. Well, there it is.
The game was over before the rules were set.
That's
I've never
the letter.
been a winner. I didn't
I'm
want to
pretty
play.
sure
I thought there was
I'm going to have to dig into the story deeper,
no exit from this
but I'm pretty sure my presumptions of the story
path is the wrong
were correct.
turn, and every
She kept
choice
saying Luke shares the same blood.
I lied to the Lord, I lied to myself.
This is
I lied
Marianne's
to you
song.
and everyone I care, until there were no more lies to
I'm just going to let this
tell.
play out and I'm going to talk after it.
Easier than being
But
brave.
what a fucking game.
But at last I
That was
found the
fantastic.
strength I lost to sing my love letter to you. 'Cause people can lie, but my lone heart beats true.
I've got to say, Amber Lee Connors, you did a fantastic job of directing the voice actors.
It was a simple
You really did.
question. My answer came too late. And every time I said no, I wanted to say yes. They say speak your mind, tell the truth, but there is room for each regret. So many fears to overcome, so little time to conquer them. I lied to the Lord, I lied to myself, I lied to you and everyone I care, until there were no more lies to tell.
And yeah,
Cowardice is
I've gotta
easier
say,
than being brave.
fair credit to them putting this in. The amount of backers who gave money to make sure, who backed this game to make sure it got made, or help it get made, or whatever small part they were part of the creation of this game. I wonder if this song is a reflection of her.
I'll fight for what's worth fighting for.
A fair amount of backers.
Fear, forget the rest.
They've put what fonts they use. Thanks everyone for playing. Hope you enjoyed the game. It's been fun being part of the production. I really appreciate the teams in corporate. I love you, Kylie and baby Jaden. Jesus Christ. The Letter was an absolutely amazing project to be part of. I can imagine it was.
Cause people can lie, but my lone heart beats true.
Hannah, best plot and backstory. No Luke. No Luke with Isabella. No bye. Oh my days. Thank you so much for playing the letter. We hope you had a blast. We can't wait to talk to you about it. Dot dot dot.
Tio? Where are you, Tio? Tio? Please?
Don't you fucking dare, game.
She's here! She's still here, Tio!
Holy fuck, I've got goosebumps.
Help me! Please!
What the fuck? Holy fuck. Dear you, if you are reading this means that you've finished playing the game in one way or another, and we thank you for the time you've spent playing the letter. This game is our passion project, more than anything, and we sincerely hope we delivered in bringing you one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. Letter is, hopefully, the first of many visual novels coming from us. If you like what we did with this game and would like to support us, please consider donating to our Patreon account. You can also follow us on social media to get the latest updates. Our usual handle is YangYangMobile. Thank you so much for playing everything. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk soon. Love, YYM team. Fuck. So, I'm wondering now. I'm wondering if there's a perfect ending. For visual novels, they've always got the bad, they've got the general gist endings, and then they've got the perfect ending, the true ending. I wonder if there's a true ending that allows us to completely banish the demon. And the only thing I can think is, maybe we should have burned the letter, not the mansion. Maybe burning the mansion will let her out. Luke Variant 5. Holy shit, there's a load of different things. Individual good, individual bad. The Luke Escape is an individual bad. Friendship good. There's ones for all them. There's an ending for all bad friendships. Romance endings. Marianne and Hannah. Ashton and Isabella. Oh, there's a lot of different ones. I may have to play through this game a few more times. Unfortunately, I probably won't be doing it on stream, but there's a lot of achievements what I haven't got. So, there's got to be a perfect ending. There's got to be. There's one thing what I want to do now as well. So, I'm not going to be going through and changing shit now. I just want to do this. What's this branching tree? So hers is a very simple branching tree. It's got things hidden. It splits, so there's one option that then turns into two, but it ultimately goes towards... Holy shit, what's this one? Common root. And then that leads its way to Hannah. Obviously, QTE or game over. The game over can't go. The go to work. Or there was another option. With Hannah, there's a few more stuff like there was a question, you'll be a great father, or the other option. Or potentially, what was this one? Common root. Story update. So there could be a different story with it. Call them out. If I didn't call them out, there'd be more options. Ah, interesting. So this is because of Zachary. And all this stuff. If I didn't choose that option, there's just more defined endings. Zachary has one which can skip all of this. Tell Hannah or don't tell Hannah. If I don't tell Hannah, it just skips all of the way to here. Keep looking for Ash. I'm guessing one of these is going, one of them's somewhere else. And that leads to Marianne. If I chose one of the other ones, it would go somewhere else. I just want to see Ashton's, because Ashton's story took forever. Yeah, look at this. How small that bar is. There is so much within Ashton's. And even then, it looks like I've skipped a lot of stuff. Because there's all this here, what I just mainlined through, all that there, which would have taken me to that point. And there's all that stuff up there. Then there's just literally a main line all the way back to here where there's just simple yes, no. There's all these different options. Holy shit. I'm assuming because story update, I had that all the time. I'm guessing a load of those options come from stuff what I've done with other characters as well. Same with Luke. Luke's will be ridiculously long because there's got to be so many different paths depending on so many different people's reactions to Luke, which then end at the epilogue. That is insane. There is so much in this game. You know what? Burn the letter. It's an easy decision. I'm not going to properly voice this out. I might do this on a later date if I decide to restream it and completely do different options. I just want to go and see what this does.
Give me.
Go through all this. Give that. Doesn't take long for the thing to catch fire. It's old, for heaven's sake. Sharp, agonizing playing out, taking with the horrors that has brought up the mansion. Slowly before our eyes, the mansion changes. So literally burning the letter is probably the best option.
Well, you may now.
We are free. ... Epilogue. Cool. Skip. Skip. Skip, skip, skip. Yep, go through all this, I don't care. Because these rightfully shouldn't have changed. It's the exact same things. Yep, art studio. Same thing with Marianne. He's been promoted. Does a bit of modelling. They're together. Interesting. And stuff like CGs, miscellaneous. So I got these. And then, obviously, her killing Kylie. I've got memory fragments to unlock as well. And obviously, loads of CGs from all this. So I've seen all this. Saw that one of her sitting there, fucking creepy as shit. Grim. During all this, there's actually a load of shit I haven't seen. And obviously there's this here. But I will show you the exact moment I was thinking the letter had nothing to do with it. And it's that scene there. Kylie has not seen the letter. She's not seen the letter. Yet the demon still tries to possess her. And there's all that, and then it's in chapter 2? No, it's in like Rebecca's. This. That's what gave me the clue that potentially they're related somehow. That's somehow like a great descendant of hers. Because that does not look malicious. That is purely like a lover's embrace. And the fact that she's been with Luke for a very long time. Just sitting with. But that also means that she's been with Kylie the entire time. And obviously I've seen this ending. There's all this shit when she reached out from under the bookcase, so I knew she wasn't tied to the house. The moment of jump scare. There's obviously all this. The creep out. One of my favourite scenes of the entire game where he gets punched. But I think most of my assumptions were right. Most of my assumptions about the game were right. Yeah. That's the letter over and done with. I don't know what I'm going to be playing next. I honestly don't know. I'm going to have to think about it for a while.